Welcome, all you wild weirdos and weirdettes out there in Wild and Weird Radio Land. It's Iron. That's Joseph over there. And we have snow on the screen because,
we do.
It's that time of year. We have snow on the actual ground, too, which
right?
is very interesting out there. Joe, why don't you kick off the week here? Let everybody know who's here and all that fun stuff. And I'm going to continue to get the story ready because, boy, do we have a lot.
Oh, it's a juicy one. It's going to be a lively episode tonight.
It's drones, it's UFOs, it's UFOs, it's drones, it's UFOs, it's UAPs, it's weather balloons. Okay, anyway.
Swamp gas.
We
got James Nelson in the house. Happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday. Right back at you, James. Good to see you out there. Jordan Booker, happy Thursday. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome.
Ada Cox, how you doing, Thursday family? I hope I'm more than just Thursday family, Ada.
You're just Thursday family.
We got Power Band in the house. What's up, howdy people? Then we've got Oz in the Woods is hanging out with us. Good to see you, Oz.
Shout out if you're new, by the way. We want to hear the new people.
Oh, that's weird. Octopus is here, but it will not let me show your comment for some.
I'd say it's drones.
I'm going to blame drones.
Yes.
Yeah, it's literally letting me hit everybody but you. Lisa, what's going on, Lisa? Good to see you. Jen, good to see you. Anita Allen's in the house. How you doing?
Welcome.
Then we've got John Smirka in the house. Happy Thursday, everyone. I hope you're all staying warm. I got to tell you, it's nice and toasty inside the Uranium mothership. Man, isn't it crazy how those guys went straight at that?
I just came over and saw that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we'll be talking about that. Don't worry.
We're going to be touching that one, John. And then
we're coming hot on that one.
Yep. Then, hey, John, reshare that post that you sent to the group. I'm not sure what I did, but I accidentally kicked it out of the queue instead of kicking it onto the page. That's my bad. Jeff, holy cow. Jeff Byers is here, Ron.
What?
We are graced by his excellence. Jeff, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. LW Marshall's in the house. How are you, brother? I'm going to shoot you a message after the show. Then we've got who else? Gary Schuler's in the house. Looks like you've been traveling here the last week, man. I've been keeping up with your Facebook. Terry McCullough. Good evening, peeps. How you doing, Terry? Good to see you. Scott Holbrook, it's finally Thursday, right? Scott got silenced by the Men in Blue last night, just so you guys, he was at a UK. Was that a basketball game you were at? This one, it lets me show this one, Octopus, so you're back in the loop. I've seen UFOs turn into UAPs. Now everything's drones and inverted Chinese balloons.
Oh, my God. Those are perfect lyrics. I'm writing those down.
It rhymes, right?
Yeah, close enough. I'll make it work.
Enzo Cirilli, what's going on? Did I say that right? I'm pretty sure I said that right. Enzo Cirilli. The reason I think I'm saying that right is because I have a friend that lives up in New York that his name is spelled similar to yours, but it's Cimelli instead. Ron knows Steve.
Yep, I do.
Who else we got? You, me. The drones could have deadly virus. Could. They're spreading and letting them fly, not knowing if they're armed and deadly. Threat is plain dumb.
I think they know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they know, and that's why they're not hitting them.
Yeah.
That's why nobody's allowed.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'm at the bottom.
Okay.
Larry Hose is here. We got Larry in the house. Good to see you, brother. Scott said, yes, I was at a
Mm-hmm.
UK basketball game.
Well, as Giorgio reminds us, it has been 12 years since the world ended. Everyone, just to let you know.
So,
Right.
and I want to talk. I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
bring that up tonight, by the way,
Yeah.
because of this exact thing with it being 12/12 and the world ending and whatnot.
Again.
I wanted to talk about that especially with what Giorgio was saying to us there at
Yeah. Yeah.
Crypticon, which is nothing you haven't heard probably if you watch Ancient Aliens. So, let's see, man. Let's see. I would say let's start with the news, but the whole episode's basically covering the news.
Pretty much the news, unfortunately, this time, because everybody's got ideas, everyone's got theories. We're going to throw it all on the table and see what makes sense, and let you guys figure it out. Because I got a feeling.
While we're here early, I want to show you guys something before we get into the news and we get sidetracked from this. You hear us talking about all the time how we're building things and we're making components to do what we do better. And I have been picking up little pieces here and there and building these contraptions. These don't come stock like this. Ada Cox coming in, showing you exactly what this stuff goes towards. These cost around $40 a pop to build. And so far I've got 2 of them ready to rock and roll. And what this is going to do is it's going to summon the Sky Daddies. What it's going to do. Gary said it's Joe's drone work. No, these aren't going to fly. I mean, they could actually. We could mount these to a drone. They're just under that weight threshold, but it might be too heavy when you put some of the devices we're going to put on this. What this does is it allows us to mount multiple devices to one component, and it is it allows us to basically keep track of what we're doing, and it's a universal mount. So literally any shape, any object that we can get these grippy feet to, it will grab a hold of. So it doesn't have to be perfectly round. It doesn't have to be square. We can mount to it and we can hang whatever we need to hang, whether it is recording devices, cameras, thermal imaging, night vision. It could be any of our
Nuclear containment systems.
Yes.
Neutrino wands. No kidding.
Anything that has a universal screw mount or that we can put a universal screw mount on, we can mount these and keep the components close together. So that way they're measuring and observing the exact same area without us having to carry them around all the time. We can set them in a location and let them ride.
Yeah.
So this is just a component. You guys are going to see these in use very soon.
Yeah.
But I just want to give you a little sneak peek. We're not finished building this whole contraption yet, but we're getting close. And I'm really excited to deploy it because it is going to be cool.
It's going to be really cool. It's going to be very, very cool. You might be able to lock onto drones. I don't know. It's possible.
It might even be able. Secretly, Joe is building a Gundam in his basement. Yes.
Possibly.
Yes. I love that show. Have you seen Trackway? Have you seen the new one? What is it? Requiem? Oh, so good. It's a universal nifty. That's going to be the name.
That's actually what it's going to be called. How'd you know? That's amazing.
Oh man. I was in the woods, said PSYOPs, mixture, Russian mafia. Yeah, someone said that. Yep, they did. Canada, because we pushed them a bit too far. This is the ultimate bingo card destroyer.
It really is. And there's some major players that were left off that list that we have to put back on that list.
Enzo says it's for a ghost trap, isn't it? I mean, it could be.
It kind of is. And so you're kind of right in a weird way.
John Browning, how you doing? Good to see you.
Welcome aboard.
The wild and weird doohickey.
It is, Jen. It's a wild and weird doohickey. There's a few of those things floating around over here. Trust me. It's a weird place. There's just weird stuff everywhere. You can't imagine.
Anita says, Ron, I got them there psychotic powers.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. Oh man, we wouldn't have any other way. So let's kick this thing off, okay? Because unless you've been under a rock, you know we've been invaded by drones. And this week it kind of boiled over with everything in New Jersey. We got any New Jersey people here, by the way? I'd like to hear from you guys if you're actually out there and have actually seen any of these things.
Now, Ike, Ike, are you out there? Because
Yeah,
Ike actually sent us some
Ike saw
pictures
some.
of
Yeah.
those last week.
Yeah,
when he
Ike
was
saw
in
some
Jersey.
stuff, but let's hear from other people. If there's anyone out there, if you know somebody, pull them over here on the show. We want to hear from you. Just type it. You don't have to come on the show or anything, but just type out what you saw and whatnot. So because it kind of looks like we're dealing with two separate things here, right, Joe?
Well, yeah, absolutely, if not more.
Yeah, and I think that that's one of our issues. I think that this is one of those issues where everybody's trying to paint one thing as the answer, and that's why everything's getting all muddied and just messed up. But can you read that?
Yes, we are literally being invaded by drones. We have no idea who is doing it and where they are coming from. A name that I'm going to butcher. Aquatic Mayor Ryan Erb told the station after the briefing. Law enforcement has not identified the origin or landing sites of the drones. So this is part of what's really one of the most troubling bits of this, right? Is like they cannot find the origin point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Count that as a data point. Somebody keep score of this. Keep track of this.
So one of the takeaways today was that the drones statewide are hovering and appearing to be surveilling New Jersey's critical infrastructure.
Mm-hmm. They appear to
think of that.
Let's make sure that we read that the way that it's written. They appear to be. Okay.
Right. They appear to be.
Appear to be. Okay.
Now, one way or another, whether these are terrestrial or earthbound in nature or not, there is a level of surveilling that is going on, regardless of what it's looking at, whether it's critical infrastructure or not. They do seem to be conducting some sort of surveillance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do. They really do. And they're interesting because we have drones that look like this, and then we have drones that look like, drones.
Yeah.
I want you guys to pay attention to this little lineup right here that you're seeing. Okay. Those people that you see on your screen right there.
That is Congresswoman Luna.
Mm-hmm.
Up in the top right. That is Christopher Mellon in the bottom left.
Yeah.
And one of my new heroes, Ryan Graves, on the bottom
over there. Yeah. So here's the significance of that. Those guys are not necessarily the people you call when you're talking about drones. Like
no.
buzz flying over. I can go out and buy these things, drones.
And what I want to lead this with, I know you listened to this segment from News Nation, because that's where we pulled that from, guys. If you want to go watch that segment, go to News Nation. It was on a bit pulled from Chris Cuomo's show. What I want to emphasize here is that Chris Cuomo said right out the gate. So I just want to get this straight. So we're all on the same page. We definitely think that these are all drones, right? And they all kind of chuckled and were like, yeah, that's what they are. They kind of had that opening moment where they were joking. And then he said, okay, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here. And indicating that he himself, as well as the rest of those three on the panel, do not believe that, especially what was seen in Oregon, and most of what's been seen in New Jersey have been drones.
Yeah, there's some weird things out there. I'm going to go ahead and throw up a link for you guys to copy and have a look at for yourself. This is it's a little homework you can do if you want to do it or not. That's entirely up to you. But this is
one second.
Go ahead.
Mark DD says, I have a stupid question that I don't think anyone will take seriously.
There are no stupid questions.
One, there's no stupid questions. Two, most people have a hard time taking us seriously to begin with. So we will take whatever questions you've got, believe it or not, and we will treat it seriously and we'll answer it to the best of our ability. And you know, yeah, people do take us seriously. There's a reason why we're in the positions we're in, doing the things we're doing and whatnot. But we have the ability to just kind of switch gears on the fly and go from dead serious discussion into, you know, taking some of the more off the wall questions and treating it like a real question. So feel free to shoot there, Mark. Let's hear it. Okay. It seems no one is talking about Venus appearing in the same time that all this stuff started. I've seen the End of the World movies. How do we know it's actually Venus and not some asteroid? It seems weird.
Oh, that's nice. That's good. But
that
Mark,
is actually a really good question.
That's
Mark.
really good. And I know exactly what he's talking about. He's talking about, oh, you know, the light shows up, right? And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and boom, there you go. But we do know that it is Venus because we do have astronomers, and I'm not being, you know, smug or smirky about that. I'm just telling you that I've watched the stars for years, and I know where they're supposed to be, and they are where they're supposed to be. We also have Dave Roberts, which is another member of our group, and he is an astronomer. That is Venus, that particular one. Now, here's something that
it's this time of year specifically, right? Tell them about this time of year specifically.
every time this time of year comes around, we even put disclaimers. It's twice a year, actually, that it comes around. It's when Venus is in the evening sky or in the morning sky. And we get inundated with UFO reports just constantly. It used to be really bad, but it's gotten a whole lot better lately. But these are to be expected. Now, what you did hit up on there is very good, because there are cases where some of these things do look like stars, and they just kind of sit there until they're not there anymore. But you wouldn't know the difference, right? I mean, that's the whole point. You look up and you're not thinking anything different of it. It's just a really bright star. I mean, I saw one like that before, and then it's just not there. Stars don't do that. Planets don't do that. If they do, we've got real issues.
Angie brings up, you know, light pollution has a lot to do with it, and people just don't watch the skies like they used to.
It is true. It is true. If anything, this has made more people start to look at the skies more than ever before.
Octopus says, and you are right. It's interesting timing with the planets being so prominent right now and everything else going on. And, you know, it's just the way it is. You know, it's this time of year, like Ron was saying, it's twice a year, but this time of year specifically, it's the heaviest because it's in the dusk sky. People see it when they're coming home from work. And it's just on the horizon, and then it'll dip down.
It is typically around this time of year because if you go back and look at some of the, you know, the old astronomy magazines and some of the astronomy websites, they'll talk about which one's going to be the Christmas star this year, right? And it's usually either Jupiter or it's going to be Venus because they're the two brightest ones.
Well, Mark said, thank you for answering. I appreciate it. I've been seeing these things in Missouri for years. I'm not saying it's aliens, but definitely not stars.
And I understand exactly what you're talking about. And like I said, some of these things are extremely bright. And if you can lay a good scope on them, you can actually see different color shifts in those things. And if you can also have some point of reference, you can tell they're not just stationary as well, which stars aren't either, but these things are moving a little faster than stars at times. But they're very clever, like especially the one that I had seen. You know, I really thought, wait a minute, that's not a star. You know, I looked up, I saw it's like a star, and then I'm like, wait, there shouldn't be a star there. And by the time I got my camera on it, it was gone. And that happened back, 3-4 years ago, something like that, right? So yeah.
Now, like Enzo says here, Saturn and Jupiter, they also get the rap as well.
Yeah, they do.
Now, one thing, Mark, that I
Cirrus.
will point you in this direction for. There is a free app for both Android and iPhone. You can download it. It uses your GPS location and all that stuff on your phone. So if you're in it for a long time, it'll consume battery pretty quick. But it's called Skyview Lite. And you can download that app, point it at the sky. It uses your camera to interface with the sky and creates an augmented reality, really. And it uses the stars to basically plot out and map out the sky for you. And it shows you what you're looking at. It will tell you the names of each star. You can touch it, pull it to center, and zoom in, and it'll tell you everything that's there.
Yeah.
That comes in really handy.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, and anybody who's out there, I really do. That's one of our things. We recommend that you do get you some kind of a astronomy app. It really helps, and get a flight radar. The free version at least. That way you can kind of keep track on some of those things too. Is it Jupiter that is crazy bright lately? Jupiter's in the morning right now, and I think Venus is in the evening. So you got two of them out there, Octo.
And Venus in its position in the evening.
I think that's right. Isn't that right? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No. Venus,
correct me.
Venus in its position in the evening, it gives that effect as well to make it look way larger, because you can see points on the horizon as well as Venus. Like if you live in the mountainous areas, the closer Venus falls to that horizon, the bigger it looks. It's the same kind of effect that we get with some of these super moons, because the way the moon will be at the horizon, it'll just look massively large. It's just
I do like a supermoon. Good supermoon.
Enzo says using any monitored astronomy app will allow you to identify if it's a planet or a satellite. I use Sky Map for planets and Heavens Above for satellites. Take your pick. There are a lot out there. Yes, there really are.
Yeah, there are tons. Just, grab you one. Right now, we do have Saturn, and it's in the southwest right now. I think Venus may have already set.
Venus should have gone down by now.
I think
at least for us. Now, if you're in the plains, in a plains land, you're still able to see it. But it's for us in the mountains. It should be down below.
Now Jupiter is up, guys. So Jupiter's in the east right now. So there you go. And yes, it is by the moon or below the moon right now. Okay, so there's your astronomy for tonight. I wish Dave was here. He knows more about that.
I know, right?
But and he loves to shine on that astronomy stuff. Believe me. If we have our when we have our get together or whatnot, Dave's going to probably bring that scope out. You know that, right?
Oh, nice. I hope so. I hope
he'll probably bring it.
We really missed it with the last one we had.
Take a look at it and whatnot. So where was I at? Drones. That's where I was at.
Yeah, drones.
So we had more drones, right? Those drones, and then we had, these drones, and he said that there was 50 that came from the ocean. Wait, what? You see that, right? At least a dozen trailed a Coast Guard ship.
That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That happened.
50 drones came from the ocean.
That's right.
A dozen trailed a Coast Guard ship. More than a dozen drones followed a 47-foot-long Coast Guard boat Sunday night, while law enforcement tracked another 50 drones coming onto land from the ocean at Long Island Beach State Park. Not Long Island, sorry. That is Island Beach State Park. Representative Chris Smith said. Meanwhile, the FBI agent's director admitted that the agency doesn't know who is behind the unidentified drones that are flying over New Jersey. Authorities did confirm that the drones are not coming from local military bases. The mystery of unidentified drones deepened Tuesday as federal officials admitted during a congressional hearing that despite repeated occurrences from Governor Murphy and other public officials, they cannot say definitively whether the drones pose a threat.
Well, now, that's okay that they couldn't, because this dummy could.
Yeah.
This dummy right here says, wait, they're coming from Iran. There's a drone carrier off the coast of the United States. It just materialized there. I mean, you know, And where's your evidence? I don't have any. But, and then the Pentagon had to say, wait, no. No.
The Pentagon clearly said at the bottom, said the
No.
Pentagon says it's not true.
Oh, it says more than that. If you notice these screen grabs, if you go and look that up now, this is what you get.
Pentagon shoots down Iran mothership claim. The FBI says it has no answers for drones over Jersey. Incredibly stupid, incredibly weak. New Jersey rips high.
He's not happy.
Iran drone speculation. I mean, I'm just gonna be real with you guys here. If that's the case, Dave Roberts is here. Oh, I'm here. The show came home.
Dave, you need to answer questions about astronomy.
I was incognito. Definitely aliens. That wouldn't let me chat.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Spookfest is here. What's going on?
So, all right. We were told first. Let's go back and do a recap. We were told they were UFOs at first, UAP. Then we were told they were drones this time, right? Because balloons don't work no more.
Hearstland says drones are orbs. It's a big difference.
It's a huge difference. Thank you, Hearstland. Absolutely correct. And we're going to talk about that. So that brings me to this. The last week we started hearing about, it's adversarial, right? All of a sudden, after been telling us for years, no, it's not. That these things are doing things that we can't quite make out. Well, clearly these are just drones. Okay, let's be real here. There's nothing extraordinary about their flight patterns. They are drones. Correct?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Now we're back to no, it's not. So if it's not adversarial and it's not us, which I do firmly believe it is us, by the way, just for the record.
Hold on. They didn't say it's not us. They said it's not foreign or government.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, you're right.
Foreign or government. They made sure to leave the caveat out, but it's not our government.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point, because it totally is, I think. But that's not the only thing that is up there, and I think that that's where we're at with this. And I think that that is the next play that we're going to be seeing made. And we may see it as soon as tomorrow evening. I don't know yet.
Enzo says, supposedly the Aero office is not involved at all with what's over New Jersey, for whatever that's worth.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, for whatever that's somebody else's problem. That's what that is.
SEP.
That's because it's a SEP, Enzo.
Yep.
Somebody else's problem. But no, I mean, thankfully, this guy was right on top. He knew exactly where these were coming from, guys. And you all believed it. Not all you guys. I'm talking about, the people that he wanted to believe. That's the play that was made. And it was irresponsible. I'm going to speak on that. I don't do politics on this show. And this doesn't have anything to do with politics. This has to do with common freaking sense. I can stand up here right now and tell you that Bigfoot is 100% flesh and blood. I can stand up here and tell you right now, Bigfoot is some kind of a strange paranormal creature. I don't have proof of either one of those things. So I would not do that. You see? Hence subject A, subject B.
Right.
I am not crazy enough to put my career, my reputation, I don't really have that, but he does. I'm not crazy enough to do that. And more than that, he's really irresponsible. I mean, those are the kind of war hawk mentality. We've talked about this, that really it causes unnecessary conflicts. We don't need that. Not right now. Just stop it. If you don't know what it is, shut up.
So here's where I want to drop in my little bits coming from.
Please do drop in your little bits on this.
All right. Now, I have worked in government. I know that might lose me points.
He can't be trusted, anyone. Just turn away now.
I have worked for the government for longer than I would care to admit at this point, and I'm back in the state government now. Now, that being said, I know how the interworkings of government stuff behaves, especially from the military's perspective. And these drones that are being seen over New Jersey, I have a lot of questions about those, because
which ones in particular, Joe?
the ones that are not like UFOs.
Okay.
I'm talking about the ones that probably are drones of some nature. The ones that are flying over the military installations and nobody can pick them up on radar. And nobody can pick them up. So I'm going to put into perspective how that works. One, it would have to have, they'd have to be steel. They'd have to be made, have a stealth coating, because the stealth stuff on plastic doesn't jive. And there's a whole lot of problems there. Now, we would also be able to find where they were coming from. Okay. There would be a flight plan that you could subpoena and get the information, especially the FBI. They would be able to get this. Now, it would just disappear, is what you would see happening. Like, the topic would just be like a paperweight fell on the news desk and it didn't move anymore. However, that's not what's happening. Okay. So whatever these things are, if they're ours, then LW back here could be onto a little something, something. And I don't want to say shadow government personally, but it could be something coming, like a player on the field. I don't know, maybe a Lockheed.
Oh, you mean Hydra?
Yeah, right.
I know.
I mean, like a Lockheed, like
Cobra. That's what you just said.
Basically, one of those guys coming out and putting on a demo. That would be, but you would still be able to get that information. Now, another issue with all this, geofencing. Anybody who's familiar with drone laws and FAA and drone movement knows that geofencing keeps some of these things from going into certain areas. Well, these drones particularly don't seem to care about geofencing.
No, they don't. They're not guided by any of that.
They're like, seem to be jailbroke or something. But the problem with that is, that would mean that they would have to be flying on a completely different band. Whatever the transcommunication was between the receiver and the craft, if they're being piloted by people, it would have to be a completely obtuse band that nobody else is using and hasn't been being used for anything else. Otherwise, these mock towers would be able to just press a button, and whatever is overhead that shouldn't be there, that's being radio controlled, just falls out of the sky dead as a box of hammers.
No, that's true. That's 100% true, because that's how this technology works. That's how drone technology works. Conventional drone technology works. So when you tell me that, you can't lock on to them, and we've heard this all week, why can't you just get eyes on them? Well, when we point a camera at them, they go dark and they disappear. Okay. What's wrong with that sentence, first of all? Because when we're talking about what you just said, we have thermals.
Right.
Oh, but the thermal signatures are extremely small. Okay. But you're saying that there's a drone and it's up there for hours with a motor spinning, with a battery.
Kind of battery?
Yeah.
And
these
now
things
another
get
thing,
very hot.
But with what you just said about motors spinning, if you look at a drone through a thermal, the rotors are the hottest part.
Yeah, those motors get extremely hot where where the rotor is. And then if you're pushing it, say you're in a wind, that battery's going to get really hot.
It is.
So that thing's going to glow.
But it creates a differential. You'll have the chassis that is cooler. You'll see however many rotors there are, 6, 8, 4, whatever. Yeah. You'll see where they're positioned, because the limbs will be cool.
Absolutely. Yes.
The rotors will be hot and the battery compartment will be hot. So you will have a center mass that's warm, and you will have however many rotors showing up hot. And the frame will look cool. So you would actually have a very good view of this. And we will show you this in Paranormal Horizons. You will see what a drone looks like on thermal.
Yeah. It's, I don't know what they're using. I really don't. I don't understand. Here's why I don't understand a lot of what I've heard. Okay. These are people in authority who said that they don't know what this is. They can't get cameras on it. They can't do this. We have cameras that can do this. And if we lock onto something like that, and it's not showing up on our thermal, and it's not showing up on our night vision, and it's not showing up on our cameras, then that's not a drone. And if it is a drone, it's not a drone that's running our stuff.
Now, what you just said, this ties directly into what you just said. LR says, okay, let's think about this. Why wouldn't visitors from another place not try to blend in with what could possibly be buzzing around our skies to reduce reported sightings?
Okay, LR, let me, I don't know if you know about this term. This is a term that was used back in the early days of ufology. It's called cultural tracking. And cultural tracking is a theory that basically states that, say there is an extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional, whatever, call them what you want. I don't even care anymore. But there's another not us that's flying around out there, right? And to reduce themselves from being seen, they take the guise of whatever is flying around. Yeah. And this was particularly noted about the 1890s airship wave, whereas some of those clearly were, balloons, but others were doing some really weird things that didn't quite fit the balloon category, right? So could it be? Yeah, I did that. So could it be? I mean, yeah, it absolutely could. And you're spot on as far as I'm concerned. I mean, if I don't want you to know what I look like, I mean, if I can flip a couple switches on and turn some of these lights on, and that's all I got to do, good to go.
Yeah. Power Bandit says, I think there are new drone companies popping up soon because of the DJI ban.
Well, there's a sort of a ban. It's a pseudo ban. I don't know if Adam's here. He could probably fill you in on that a little bit more, but
yeah, Adam's at least watching.
There is there's some caveat about that. There's some things that are going to be banned, some things that are not going to be banned. Let's put it that way. It's going to cover certain I think certain models, from what I understand at this point. So they're not technically going to ban all of them. Which I think why
they just came out with that new one.
Yeah, they're not going to ban all of them.
That 300 gram.
Yeah, there's workarounds.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, we ignore the fact. Yeah, that's right. I just think it's funny that the ones that have seen all have lights on, red, green, and white. It's definitely ours. Yeah, you're right here, Larry. Those are probably ours, unless it's someone who's very, very clever who just doesn't want to be seen. I think it's important that we also look at this. Now, apparently, all of this drone stuff happens at about the same time that these, anti-drone legislations were set to expire, literally within a week, right? Something like that. So, I don't know. That's kind of convenient. It's on.
They're set to expire next Friday.
Is it next Friday?
Yep.
Yeah. I know it was something around the 20th, or I don't know when it is, but either way, they've had these anti-drone legislation for a long time, and one of the main pushes on that hearing was literally, we want more power to be able to stop it, whether it be from a foreign adversary or from a hobbyist. Look, you don't need to stop hobbyists. There's no reason for that. So what is the real ulterior motive here? That's the real question when it comes down to this. And I think the motive is to own space. That's pretty much what it comes down to.
Space Force.
I'm just saying.
So Pat says, have none of these people ever heard of Operation Praying Mantis? Iran is one of those countries that the U.S. military has no problem attacking with minimal concerns.
100%.
Oh, yeah. And there is we keep our boats
100%
just offshore all the time, just in case we ever want to slap them real hard.
We've done it multiple times.
Just in the last month.
That's not what this is. And, that was just a ludicrous thing for him to get up there and say. And that was just basically, I'm going on break. When I come back, we'll deal with it then. Oh, by the way, there's a change of power coming. You deal with it. Yeah. That's kind of what that was. So whatever. Either
so
way,
Trackway, we're gonna be diving into this one, pun intended, here in a little bit. So, what's the thoughts on the rise of the aquatic empire? We're gonna hit that here shortly.
okay, so that kind of is a segue into why I don't think that these are 100% what
But
they're
before
telling you
we
guys.
go there,
Yeah, go ahead.
what Terry brought up is
Yeah.
the government flying drones in active UAP zones to muddy the water.
There you go. Someone out there's got this, I think. My God, you guys are commenting. Keep it coming. We're going to flag as
I've
many
got
as we
them
can
starred
and
and
get them
flagged.
popped up. I am going to post up this link, and I want you guys to go watch this. Okay, this is the one I was going to post earlier, and I didn't get to do it. Here you go. Does this sound like a conventional drone to you? And keep in mind, this was from a actual flight. This was over Oregon, I believe, is where this took place. And this is the recording from the tower to these aircraft. And you tell me what that sounds like to you, because what it is it's something that's above 50,000 feet. And I think the guy says that its speed is unlike anything, or it's maneuvering it differently or whatever. That's not our guys. But what it does sound like to me is what happened, with the Nimitz, right? Or actually, I guess with the Princeton, when they were out there and they tracked those things the first time. And you have to keep in mind, when we saw the Tic Tac video, they literally said there were more of them. We've never seen any of that footage. To this day, that's never been made public, never been declassified. Yet, they were saying that they were dropping from 80,000 feet down to sea level in a matter of seconds. That's not us. That's not Russia. That's not China. It's not Iran. It might be the Magonians, though. It could be the Magonians.
It could be the Magonians.
Yeah.
So, Finding the Trackway says Nostradamus supposedly predicted the rise of an aquatic empire in 2025. Any thoughts?
I like mermaids.
Pat said the Enclave.
The Enclave.
Mark D. Yo Joe.
There you go.
Cobra, like the guys G.I. Joe fought.
Yeah.
Power Band says Alltel. Yeah, Alltel's been making drones forever. And Alltel does. It says Alltel has no geofencing, but it does. If it flies in the air,
it's
it
not
can get knocked out.
Yeah, that's not what he's not really talking about onboard geofencing. He's talking about brick walling them, basically pointing a microwave cannon at these things and picking them down.
Right.
And
when I'm talking about the mock tower, I'm talking Mission Operation Command, and those guys have stuff to knock things like drones specifically out of the air, and they will be paperweights. They will not be retrieved. Well, yeah, they won't be retrievable because we're going to go get them. Like the military will retrieve them, and you will never see it again. You will get a hefty fine, but that drone will actually never fly again. It'll actually destroy the motherboard that's on deck, and it'll be toast.
Yeah, but we can't do that with these, apparently.
Nope.
For some reason.
Anita says they were seen at the airport just a few minutes ago. BRB going to go look at the airport. Okay, go take a look.
Yeah,
Anita,
let us know. Be good to have some actual boots on ground, and let's hear what's going on out there.
Learning is half the battle. Yo, Joe.
There it was.
Pat says it cannot be a conventional drone, either cutting edge government gear or something else.
Bingo. Exactly.
And that's where I'm at too. Like
so let's
it
talk
would
about
almost have to
something
be
else.
nuclear, right?
Right.
To be able to have the hang time that it has.
Yeah. You'd have to have a small reactor.
Enzo brought it up here. Some of these things have an insane loiter time, multiple hours worth. That's not off the shelf gear.
Bingo. But that's the difference between the people here and the people who are watching the news.
Right.
We know
you guys who are hanging out here are mostly in the know. And if you're not, you ask questions. And we have people who are in the audience or us that have the ability to answer those questions most of the time.
Yeah. and we're not afraid to say we don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Terry says, we know what balloons look like. Yeah, we did a demo, didn't we, buddy?
Yeah, exactly. So
you were there for that one.
The question is, let's go back to the ocean, because we've heard this now. Water. There's our other data set, right? They're coming from water. They're coming from near the water. This always goes back to water. Why is it going back to water?
The ones on the coast do.
The ones we're talking about right now are from the coast.
They are.
We've got New Jersey. We've got
Oregon.
Well, we got that, and we've got New York now.
Yeah, but New York and New Jersey is basically the same. People are going to hate me for saying that, but I just said what I said.
God
bless. You can throw a football from New York.
We are trying to get more subscribers, and you say something like that. New Jersey and New York are not the same. But
I mean,
okay.
Their pizza places will differ with me, but you can throw a football from New York and hit Jersey.
Oh man. Finding has a point there. Could the two alien group confront each other and a military and didn't tell anyone? So something like that. I mean, you could see that play out. Higher technology just showing us that they can make anything and have new ships. Good one, Spookfest.
Trackway, has there been reports of sounds associated with our known drones?
Ours? Yes.
100%.
Yes, you can hear them on the videos that are being posted. However, they're the ones that they are interviewing these people, and they say that they can't hear them. Those are the ones I'm interested in.
Connections with last year's Norfolk military in Langley for 17 days near me in Virginia.
Very possible. Very, very, very possible. At least they think it is.
Hurstland says, I've seen videos where drone enthusiasts can't get their drones to fly because the batteries are dying. Dave sent this to us earlier today about the drones that absolutely will not take off the ground when these things are nearby. They won't take off, or their batteries die, or they'll get like 3 minutes into the flight and this thing will just drop out of the sky.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Ron, tell us how that would function. Tell us what that would take. Because we talked about this on the ride here.
Again, I think that's going to take something to the nature of either a massive, like you're hitting an EMP wall, right? Or someone's just changing the channel, so to speak, or messing with the GPS. I mean, it's totally doable. It's 100% doable.
So Enzo says that's the oddity of it. If it's a foreign power, why have it covered in FAA approved lighting?
And why show yourself constantly? And then why, when someone points a camera at you, would you just black out and shoot off? And then tell me why we can't just chase something that just blacks out and shoots off, because I'd like to think that we have advanced technology capable of doing such a thing.
So Tony says, my favorite out of sync example of cultural tracking is the UFO that flapped its wings in 1948 before the Kenneth Arnold sighting, the sighting that was witnessed by George Adamski.
Yeah.
Mark says, it's hard to ignore the timing. Venus, the disclosure hearings, Russian ICBM, and now the Pope saying he's open to portals. I don't know anymore, y'all. It's getting weird.
Wait, that last part I haven't heard yet. What
that was part of the rest of that speech that I talked about last week.
Open to portals,
baptize the aliens.
Yeah, portals.
Yeah, like he. Oh no, he didn't say he's opening portals.
No. Open to portals is what I'm reading it as. But either way, he mentioned portals.
Yeah, it was brought up because, and it wasn't necessarily brought up directly by him. You know how they'll pose questions, and then he being the pious guy he is, and not the best English speaker, he repeats and kind of does that whole writing in a full sentence, but he does it with his mouth.
Yeah.
And so he responded back to the guy and said that something came out of a portal, blah, blah, blah.
Right there.
But now I didn't hear anything about what Mark just said about how he's opening portals. The Pope is opening portals. If he's doing that, he might be more Pentecostal than anybody knows.
Oh my God. And there we go. We lost even more subscribers. Thank you, Joe. Thank you so much,
Dang it,
folks.
Pentecostal
If you
people
are
don't
in,
laugh at that joke.
yeah, I know it's okay. You start speaking in tongues. I'll forgive you. Anyway, if you guys, have not subscribed, please be sure to do so. And for you people who do possibly understand some alien language,
Yeah, okay, that one. Oz in the Woods said, I saw an interesting story on news saying part of the defense bill moving some reserve soldiers who staff launches, moving them to permanent Space Force assignment. Yeah, that's happening. I actually read that today. Oddly enough, that I was on Space Force's website today looking for some stuff. And I actually saw an article that they had wrote about a bunch of reservists and active duty Air Force personnel who are moving from Space Command, Air Force Space Command, to actual Space Command with Space Force. They're
So
moving those guys.
they're going to be like, on the ships. Is that what you're saying?
They're going to be guardians now instead of airmen.
Yeah, guardians. Isn't that what they call themselves?
Yeah, they're guardians.
Yeah, the guardians. Yeah,
I've got me some shirts coming, man. I got me a PT shirt.
Did you?
I picked up a Space Force PT shirt
Space
and
Force Guardians.
and I ordered a t-shirt for somebody else.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. One of our supreme overlords is going to get a new shirt.
I got you. Now,
So,
it's more of a promotion, quite honestly, is how I would look at that.
no, it really is. It's moving them from a closing division in one branch into,
because they're stepping down, right? Isn't that what they're going to do with the old Space Command? US
yeah, they're phasing it into. They're phasing all the, and it's just taken years to do it. Yeah. So it's just slowly moving in. And then LR hit us somewhere here in the mix of things.
What? When?
There he is.
Oh crap.
In the spirit of UAPs.
Thank you, sir. Many blessings. This show is brought to you by people like that. You folks who buy those super stickers and super whatever they call them chats, because we don't do any kind of go
Patreon or
Patreons and paywall stuff. I mean, this is the show and that you pay for. So look, you paid for snow this week.
You did.
Cool.
The where'd he go?
I don't know.
I saw a video yesterday where someone was filming one and you could see and hear his phone freak out.
Oh, you mean a drone, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I could totally see that, Mark. Disruptions from these things.
Back to the portal opening. Octopus just said, "That's it, Joe. I'm holding my rattlesnakes now."
No.
We'll get you down here to
you gotta stop
southern West Virginia. I'll get you.
You gotta stop it.
Joe, the Space Force symbol, the weird black part, that's their 2-stage space jet. The white plus is the second stage.
There you go.
Larry said the Pope is talking about opening doors through the Vatican. Just happened to call them portals. Yeah, and again, that goes back to the English thing. So Larry's got the article there of where that came from then.
Okay.
Dave says a lot of this drone situation now and over the past several weeks almost gives the impression of weaponization. I'm not saying a physical attack, but as part of the potential motive, whatever it may be.
Well, let's be real. It's stationed itself over top of strategic assets. It's either
stationed over top of strategic assets. DD, yes, that was the Sky Daddy himself. Sky Daddy McConaughey.
Yeah, these are blessings for you folks who are new to this and don't understand what in the world's happening when that happens. Every time someone donates to the cause, they get a blessing, and the blessing may come in the form of the Sky Daddy himself, or it may come as Mothman or flying jellies. We don't know. It depends on what it is that I've decided to put together.
Herslin says maybe Anunnaki are mad because Elon's check bounced.
Oh, that was a good one.
Dave Roberts says, seen in the Gulf of Mexico, Pacific, and East Coast over the weeks and past couple months, back to the water. 3 zones of triangulation.
Back to the water. It's back to the water. And he's right. He's right on it as far as I'm concerned.
Tony said Joe just offended 2 whole states.
No, it says you offended 2 whole states. And that's what I said too.
Octopus says New York and New Jersey practically, basically, aliens could take them.
Octo, no. We're trying to keep subs, not lose subs.
There have been whale songs associated with these drones.
Yes, he's right. Yes, he's right. He's right. Or the UAP, I guess they were drones at that time. I'm not sure what's what anymore. I don't think any of us are. And I think that's the game that we're playing. It's a game of complete confusion at this point.
Yeah.
Secrets in plain sight. There you go. Exactly. That's the best way to hide one, right in plain sight. So, folks, friends, everyone here, what have you seen? I mean, have you actually laid eyes on these things? That's what we need to know.
I know, I think Spookfest said he had seen them.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the recent ones.
I know that Ike saw, saw him. He actually sent us a photo. Yeah.
Tap Plug says UFOs for sure.
Check it. Welcome. You folks, thanks for chiming in. Become part of the conversation, because I got a feeling we can figure this out probably and get a more cohesive answer than what the American public has at this point.
LR says, Joe, next thing you know, you'll be taking the guys out for cannolis. Oh, man. Mark says AI apparently just deciphered a whale song.
Oh, boy. That doesn't surprise me.
Okay, so you brought up AI. And then we're going to go into the aqua stuff, okay? I promise. We'll go to the aqua stuff next.
He's afraid of the aqua stuff, I think, is what it comes down to.
With AI...
You're stalling.
This is purely speculation, but the algorithm loves speculation, so here we go.
Okay, go. Speculate.
What if AI is our defense mechanism? And these things are coming in. Next year, hypothetically, early in the year, crap hits the fan. These things just were inundated. And we realize this whole UFO thing is an occupation.
2 years.
So here it comes. Everything's going on. And all of a sudden we're like, oh, crap. The only way that we can actually figure out a way to beat these things is to turn on and let the general AI loose.
Well, been nice knowing you.
That right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the end game.
And you just hope that the general AI sides with us.
Yeah, because quite frankly, I just don't see that happening.
It would be one of those things like it side with us, and then all of a sudden, we are now your saviors.
Right.
You bow to us.
Yeah, I can see
we
that.
are legion.
Yeah,
you're in your pocket.
These things happen.
Pat says cannolis are amazing. Okay. So, let's see.
Yeah, I'll hold him to it. He's going to ignore the water thing again.
I'm going. Dave said, I don't know about cannolis, but he knows good Japanese food. That is a fact. I can make cannolis too. My mom's side of the family came from Italy. So I grew up cooking the old world Italian stuff. Anywho, aquatic phenomena. Ron, we're going to go to the water because that's where a lot of these drones, in quotes, seem to be coming and going from. These trans-medium objects that can traverse through the air with friction and then without hampering their speed whatsoever, traverse into the water with even more friction, but nothing seems to happen to the craft, which would imply that they somehow have a control over momentum and over gravity.
I mean, that's what we've been told. We've been told by, folks who have supposedly seen them or seen people who talk to people who have seen them doing just that. Outpacing submarines, just moving at incredible speeds and then out of the water right into the sky and, off, gone. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Well, we've had these reports of these USOs for
Yeah,
years, and we actually we did a show on USOs. You guys can go back into the backlog and listen to do or watch that.
you can. I don't even remember it. That's how long it's been.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. It was one of the first ones we did where we actually recorded the video to it. So it's been here in the last 2 years. But we're dealing with something that's coming and going out of the water. Allegedly, these drones over Jersey and over Oregon have been seen coming and going from the water as well. But they don't know where the source is. Even though they're coming from the water, they'll say they're drones just above the ocean and they come from it. Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Whether it's coming out of it or this is where we need to be.
Yeah.
When they say, I just saw 50 drones coming out of the ocean, what do you mean by that? Off the ocean or out of the ocean? And if off, then where did they come from? I know someone had said something about a submarine or a drone submarine, something like that. It would have to be a big submarine and it would have to be a pretty specialized compartmented area for these. The part that gets me about these drones, guys, if you look at them, watch the videos, they're not all the same. If we're talking about a drone carrier, a specialized military drone carrier, right? Some kind of thing, then this is true, Joe. Those would all be cookie cutter. They would all fit into a compartment and they would all come up and they would all launch at once or, in sequence, but they would all fit. They would all be the exact same type. That's not what we're seeing. These things are all different. Like some of them are as big as a school bus. One guy said it was big as a school bus. And another one said they were as big as a car. Another said that they were just the size of hobby drones. Now, what?
Yeah.
What?
That's a big leap. Well, there was one that they said was the size of a bus.
Yeah, the bus one, it got me. It's like, okay, we're playing Fortnite now, I guess. I don't know what's going on out there anymore.
Right.
Just a flying bus. Did Admiral Byrd talk about vessels coming out of the ocean? He talked about a few things, actually.
Yeah, Admiral Byrd was pretty
he talked about a few things.
Yep.
Come out of the ocean, hollow earth. There's a lot.
And hollow earth might tie into this, which we're going to circle back to.
Circle, circle, circle.
So
everything goes on the table. If you guys haven't figured it out, everything's going to go on the table. So just throw out your theories. None of them are wrong right now. Let's just put it that way. We're going to throw everything out, look at it, and everybody's going to make up their own mind and figure out what they think this is all about. Because again, no one's telling you. So let's throw it all out there.
Absolutely. Octopus says, you guys saw the white orb thing filmed by the deep sea drone while filming a squid or stenophore.
I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah, it was actually on George Knapp's latest show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I forget which it was. Regardless, it was just a flash, but it was clearly a thing. Oh, yeah. Well, it was more than just a flash. If you go watch George Knapp's show that's on Netflix, that Investigation Alien, I think is what it was called, they have the full video. And it's not just a flash. You can see this thing moving underwater, and it is absolutely bonkers. Kenny Hess is in the house. What's going on, Kenny?
Welcome, Kenny.
Enzo said, I'd imagine a disguised cargo ship just off the coast launching all these drones. It seems like they have noticed that by now.
Oh, yeah. Trust me. Yeah. They would have.
Because there would be a source for that. Because one, it's obviously that ship would show up on a radar scan.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the coast is not as easy as you think it is to breach, right, Joe? I mean, we've been to the beach. All of us been to the beach. And I know you've seen the Coast Guard in operation. They're not just flying that one little area back and forth or near the beach itself. They're flying way out to sea and they're doing massive sweeps. And not to mention, we've got things that we're not going to talk about, but we've got things out there that know when someone breaches a certain, what is it, 20, was it 20 or 50? It's so many miles from the coast. I don't remember where international water stops.
It depends on how large of an object. There's large objects can be detected at 50. The smaller ones are all picked up at 20.
Yeah, there's ways to figure out what's going on and what's flying around. And again, it doesn't add up. Even with a submarine, it doesn't add up. You have a massive body, magnetometers, they're going to pick that up, gravitometers. We have so many different sensors. You can't even imagine it.
So maybe that's the reason why we've not explored the ocean as much as we have space. And Ron, you and I had this conversation.
There it is.
2-3 hours ago.
Yeah. And that's literally it. We had the conversation and we said the same thing pretty much, look, I mean, it's the reason that some of these guys say that we haven't gone back to the moon. I mean, what if throw in the speculation now, what if there was an agreement at some point made, right? And the agreement was, look, we're here. We're going to be here. We've been here. This is technically where we live, but we live in the ocean. And
Prophet here says my wife and daughter will flip out. What will they flip out about?
Why would they do that? And this is the ocean, and this is ours. And that's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
So what if we did something that threatened said ocean?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Like nuclear blasts and detonations in the ocean.
Which stopped.
That's how we get Godzilla, guys.
Well, it's also, Bikini Atoll, like you're talking about, which also stopped, and they moved inland at that point, and those stopped too. But everything went underground, as I recall. But also, we have to remember the oceans. There's always been this fascination with oceans, right? Atlantis, these ancient societies, Mu, where's the other? Lemuria, all these ancient places that were islands and out in the middle of the ocean, isolated, homes for these incredible legends. Look at Poseidon. Look at the legend of Poseidon for one thing, right? Let's look back at our ancient history, and I do mean our ancient history here. Let's go at the lores and the legends. Let's go back to the whole fallen worlds theory. There's a callback for you who haven't gone back and listened to some of the early shows.
JB says, Ron, I tagged you on a post. A friend from New Jersey just posted on the size of a small car over his neighborhood.
Oh, there you go.
But then Anita threw this one in and said, okay, guys, so our drones look like SUV-sized drones. We've seen those. A few weeks ago, the Army Corps of Engineers were here with white drones casting a green beam of light. They were mapping the new riverbed.
Yeah, that's probably a what is it? Like a LiDAR type.
Yep, big LiDAR
situation. Mapping program.
Then Spookfest says secret underwater bases and under the mountains of Antarctica. A lot of USO out of the mountains of the ocean.
Okay, so a lot of people think that that's conspiracy talk, and I used to as well. But the more you get to understand the data and you look at where it can lead you, you can see that there's definitely a little bit about that makes sense. It's a perfect place to hide.
Pat says, do you think the aliens send UAP to make content for their shows entitled Humans Say the Darndest Things?
Possibly.
No, according to Netflix, that's just called Alien TV. You can go watch that on Netflix Kids. It's been available for years, and it shows you exactly what these aliens are doing. My kids love it. But that's basically the premise of that show. Jeff Byers says it could be from the peoples beyond the ice wall.
It totally can't be, but we'll let you say that tonight. I have a friend who would love you for that.
Admiral Byrd.
Admiral Byrd. Everybody.
Going back to Admiral Byrd with the ice wall and the hollow earth theory.
Hollow earth.
And the mini
here no
layers, the onion earth, basically.
No. Byrd specifically said that there was an entrance. He never mentioned a that grew out of something completely different and
Yeah,
just
it grew out of
snowballed.
turtles.
Yeah. But he actually said that there was a hollow opening, and that's what he went through, right? Or flew through or whatever. But the whole thing being, it's hidden. Whatever's here has
And it
been
might not
hidden.
even have been hollow Earth. It could have been something completely different. This
It
dimensional
totally
shift.
could
He
have.
could have just been right next door to us.
Dude, it could have been a massive portal. I mean, we don't know what it was. That's the whole thing.
Did the Pope open it?
He could have. It could have been the Pope. He hopped through the portal and time traveled back there and
But
snapped his
no,
finger.
Jeff brings up another valid theory that's out there. It's floating around. It's just as valid as all the others at this point, because we have this vast unexplored ocean. We have would they necessarily have to be peoples from beyond the ice wall, or could they be peoples from the ocean, from depths that we've never measured? We know more about our moon and our solar system than we do about the oceans on our very planet that we're standing on.
Well, the moon's a hologram. I mean, if we're gonna get the algorithms to really, we're gonna milk the whole thing. No, I'm kidding. I had to do that. I'm sorry. It's not. I don't believe that. And if anyone makes cuts that and makes me say that, I will
remember. The moon is hollow and rings like a bell.
Well, no, that's true. Which is weird.
Larry says this is just me being a little crazy, but
no.
Could all of the talk and hearings on the UAPs cause whatever this is to advance its agenda faster?
Maybe. Just depends on what they want, whatever their agenda is. Maybe.
Then let's see. Mark said, here's another good question. Anyone know what's been going on at CERN lately? I haven't heard much.
No, I haven't heard much about it. I'm sure it's still running.
Oh yeah, it's running.
Yeah.
Luckily, I don't think they've cooked any chipmunks recently, though.
I don't know if they have.
Pat says we can't go back to the moon because we got thrown off by the locals.
Well, that's a theory.
Oz in the Woods said, Larry, there's a theory that non-disclosure deep state and are keeping secrets because as soon as people know, the phenomena will invade. Well, I think the invasion is over. The invasion happened forever ago. Invasion in quotations.
We won.
I think, huh?
Oh, sorry.
It seems more like an occupation, if I'm being completely honest. Anybody with a military background could attest to that. If you look at this phenomena deep enough and carefully enough with all the data, the way these things behave, they literally come and go and do whatever the heck they want to do. And we don't knock down, but how many? Maybe a couple dozen here and there over the last 40, 50, 60 years.
80 years. 80 years.
Yeah. 80 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Some fall out of the sky from time to time. They just think they're,
some fall out kind of like a gift.
Right. You just never know. You don't know.
Yeah.
But I do. I look at it as an occupation, and the invasion, it happened ages ago, and we're here because of it. So there you go. That's my theory on it anyway.
Spookfest says, Larry, I said the same thing. We had the hearing about aliens and UFO, and then boom. Well, it also got a lot of people looking.
It did.
How many people were actively looking at the sky at night versus how many there are now?
It did.
Tony says, we've not explored the ocean as much as space because there are no anglerfish in space.
That's funny.
We know of.
That's hilarious.
For all we know, anglerfish are from space.
Well, maybe that's what the stars are.
Which movie had the kaiju coming to Earth through an underwater portal? I think that was the latest chain of Godzilla movies. They were all tied to the Hollow Earth. The whole MonsterVerse is Hollow Earth related.
Yeah.
JB said Ron tagged you. Oh yeah, we're back at
that one. Yeah.
We threaten the ocean every day. If they're mad at us for hurting the ocean, I think they would have attacked us for real by now.
It just depends what we did.
Yeah. Dave said when studying Sumerian culture based on what they left behind, similar tales are told on some tablets.
Absolutely. They are.
Yeah.
Ocean, water, right? The Oannes, for example. They came out of the ocean.
Someone brought up Project Bluebeam.
My favorite subject in the whole wide world.
Squatching Grandmama. Now, here's, don't hate us, okay?
No,
Because
I don't care. Go ahead. It's fine.
I think
There
they're
are
all
others that do.
getting us all worked up over these unidentified drones to work us into the next stage.
Yeah, no.
So Project Bluebeam, while yes, there have been hints and talks about that being a real government program for ages, we simply don't have the technology to actually pull that off. Even if we did have a fleet of UFOs at our disposal, we wouldn't have the technology to be able to pull off what is commonly known in the conspiracy circles as Project Bluebeam. And actually, that's where Sky Daddy came from.
Yeah, that's exactly where
Sky Daddy McConaughey was born. Was out of Project Bluebeam.
That's why we can't totally hate on Project Bluebeam anymore.
Right.
Although Sergey was definitely a twisted individual. He had some very, very interesting beliefs that he was sort of, I should say, brainwashed a little bit from, maybe something like that. I would do a little bit of research on him before I followed anyone who followed that theory, quite honestly.
100%. Ron is right.
Yeah, it's not pretty. It's not good. Yeah. I don't want any relation to those ways of thinking, basically is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I got no room for that.
Mark says 5 days ago, scientists discovered some massive cavern in the middle of the earth. Well, it was announced 5 or 6 days ago. Yeah, you're right. There was a massive cavern that was discovered. They found it. It was a massive, the way it came out was a massive freshwater seam dumped into salinated water. And there was a change in the chemistry, and it came from an opening that had popped up, and they went and did some scans and found that cavern was like gigantic.
I can't comprehend that. And the fact that it's just been there. You know, how many other things are just there? That's the question, right? Well, let's look at that supposed base that they had off the California coast. You remember that story, right?
I
remember that?
Yep.
And Dave brought up a very good thing, a point on that. He said not too long ago that's no longer on, I believe, Google Maps, if I remember correctly. Is that right, Dave? Did they do something with that image or alter it or something? Which makes no sense if they did, because why would you do that to a natural formation?
Tony Breeden says, if Bird encountered a portal, what sort? He supposedly saw lush green landscapes and woolly mammoths. Is there a time aspect?
Yes.
Yeah, the time, it seemed to be a portal in a time slip, because like there was a portal mentioned, and he traveled through it.
Yeah.
And then saw all these things.
Well,
and
he went through a hole. I don't know if it's portal or not. I'm just saying it could have been.
Well, I mean, by our definition of what a portal is, going through the hole, if a pope can call a doors portals, well, a hole in the ground will be a portal.
I guess it'll suffice. The next time we see a bent tree, I'm going to throw you through it. I'm going to see if it's a portal.
Oh, man. Dave Roberts says, the James Webb sees up to 600 million years of our known universe's origin, yet we know so little about the ocean's depths perspective.
It's what we're saying. There's a lot of places down there to hide, is what I'm saying.
Kenny Hess says they're always sighted around water, possibly hydrogen related propulsion, for example.
Good, Kenny. Good thinking.
Yep.
Who else? I can tell you this. This is all that I can tell you as far as it goes with the phenomena itself. It's not imagined. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's not a grand illusion. There are non-human intelligences. I know that sounds strange, but we also have the data to show that there's definitely something going on, and it falls in that category. It is non-human. It is an intelligence. And it is extremely intelligent, and it may be manipulative, and it may have a plan for all we know. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Pat
And you're
says
gonna
super colliders can create black holes. A black hole the size of a penny can swallow the Earth. It's food for thought.
That's true. Totally true. So, these are the things that we have to look at. And as ludicrous as, it may sound to think that, these are something from somewhere else and they're coming out of the ocean, possibly. Yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, of all the weird things that I've seen at this point, it wouldn't surprise me a bit. That's what I'm getting at.
Right. So Dave says, I'm more on the side of the drone situation is a planned distraction of something coming. What that is, who knows?
Right. Or cover up.
It could be, or like what Ron, cover up of sorts. Squatching Grandmama says, I believe we have technology that is far beyond that we know of. You're 100% correct.
Oh, 50 years or more.
Yeah. I would never get mad. We're all in the same boat looking for answers. Awesome. Well, then you are in the right place.
Are in the right place, my friend.
We appreciate you.
Let's get a blessing over here for Squatching Grandma, please.
Squatching Grandmama in honor of Project Bluebeam. I'm going to make it rain some Sky Daddies.
I just love that one. That one just makes, I mean, seriously, because I have the headphone, monitors on, right? And when that kicks up, I can hear that real gentle rain that I put in there. And it's just like, man, it's like a sound machine. I almost go to sleep sometimes.
Larry, thank you, brother. Team
thank you,
Big
Larry.
Rock. Team Sky Dolly.
I have got to make some new ones. That's all there is to it. We need some new ones. Loggy's out there somewhere, I believe, still hiding around.
Loggy's the background though.
We'll get somebody to. I'll let me fix that. Go ahead, take care of things. I want to fix some stuff. Y'all ask some questions.
Anita says, Joe, apparently the last 2 nights the drones have been flying over Mount Bigfoot research. Oh, my Bigfoot real. Oh, that wouldn't be shocking. A lot of these things have been pretty interesting. They're these alleged drones, and some of the drones that are more like technologically based, like modern technologically based, they seem to be flying in areas of interest, as we put it. So has anyone else seen the drones in West Virginia? Yeah, there have been some drones we've seen. Dave actually saw one last night or night before last, I think it was.
But that's not unusual here.
Yeah, it's not. Like,
stress that.
Yeah, it's not unusual to see them here. They take off at both Yeager and the Huntington Airport. Very little is.
Although there's no official confirmation from the ground that happens. Just saying.
Well, they're not from that ground.
Nope.
They're
not from their ground.
They're my neighbors.
Yeah, but not from Yeager. There are no such things. Just
you need to contact the mock
on an official air traffic control, and that's what they said. Nope.
I'll see if I can get a mock explanation for it, because I know one of the guys in the tower up here at Yeager.
Okay.
So the perks of being prior military and stationed at Yeager. Maybe.
We'll see what you can come up with, because that's what I was told.
Now, what part do they work on? Are they just TSA?
That was no. TSA, but they know the tower. So
gotcha.
That's supposedly coming from there. I don't know. So I can't tell you. That was 2 years ago, back when the NES, it's been that long since these things have been flying around here. So
Squatching Grandma says, appreciate y'all. I'm just outside of Charleston, West Virginia. Ron is just inside Charleston. And I'm over in Hurricane.
A neighbor.
Yeah. We've done a lot of research over there in Kanawha State Forest for many a moon. There's a lot of interesting stuff over there.
There's some weird stuff over there, guys. There's some weird stuff over there. I mean,
Dave Roberts says the government spends over 60 years deceiving, and we get some disclosure. The public asks and demands for disclosure. People disappear, murdered, threatened. We get it in somewhat, and now some laugh.
Well, I mean, just pieces. You get bits and pieces. There we go.
Terry McCullough says, I live about 30 miles away from ORNL, Large Hadron Super Collider. I guess I'll be close to the front lines when they rip the fabric of space-time.
Nice. Well, you won't know. So.
Yeah, Kenny, Kenny actually got some really good audio out of Kanawha. I think that was that or this summer, or was
that
into last?
I think it was this summer.
Or if it was the beginning of this spring, or if it was.
All the times have started to warp together on me. I don't remember them. So obviously it's the collider. It's doing its thing. It's starting to rip the fabric of space and time. It's just a matter of time now. If there was such a thing.
So I want to touch the water stuff though again.
Touch the water.
I don't want to get away from it. I don't want to because there's a lot to unpack when it comes to the aquatic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like we'd mentioned and Dave mentioned, we know way more about space.
Mm-hmm.
We do our oceans, and
that's right.
We're attached to our oceans.
We are.
We go to the ocean on vacation, and we know so very little about what's going on underneath. And this could tie into so many other theories. You've got the hollow earth theories, you've got the ice wall theories, things that it could be just on the other side. But I don't know. I think the ice wall was kind of like, I don't know, maybe hyperbole. Like not really an ice wall. Does that make sense? Like maybe it was just a barrier.
I don't know. Everything's very literal to some people. You have to remember that.
It is. There's a lot of people who perceive the ice wall as like a literal wall of ice.
I'm going to climb it and go off to the next planet. There's a planet on the other side of it. And there's a wall beyond it. And it's like Mario, you know, like Super Mario World, where the little worlds were connected.
Yep.
That's what it reminds me of when I hear that. It's like,
no, you're not wrong. It's very,
again, that's
very symbolic of that.
It's the way I see it.
So,
hey, you know what else? You know what else though? We have quite a few people here right now. I don't know how many of these people know, but we do have a little show, that we don't promote very much because we always forget to do it.
We promote it on here all the time, and I promote it on Facebook quite a bit.
There is that little extra thing is still over there that we can show later on if you want to. And there's a couple of
we got everybody here. We'll just show it now.
You can go ahead and do that if you want to. That's fine.
What's really starting to concern me though about this whole thing is that it seems like whenever we go, and if we're there long enough, we start finding these little trails, and that starts interacting with whatever we're doing.
Right.
I have to ask myself then, is there an X factor between one of us that this thing is kind of drawn to at that point? We need to definitely test this in different locations, is what I think.
I agree. Sounds like we got some weather moving in.
What is that?
That's thunder.
That's thunder, yeah. I can see
it was supposed to be perfectly clear all day, so what is happening?
Yeah.
Keep recording.
I am.
That's what I'm looking at.
Could that be...
It started after we started talking about the tribal relation.
Well, you got someone's attention.
We just had to talk about what made them truly not
What?
be in these areas.
There's a knock or something over that way.
Was there really?
Yeah, there was a knock. You'll be able to pick it up on the audio, maybe.
I really like that. And I like that one more importantly because water.
Yeah.
It rained. It rained right there, out the freak pop-up storm out of nowhere, literally. Oh, Adam Good in here with a request for a Scott Daddy.
Thank you, Adam. Executive producer.
Oh, those people were so happy to see him when he landed in that cube up on that mountain. I remember that day just like it was yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's where he came from. That was his origin story when Adam came to us.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Adam.
Yeah.
Now, Dave says, with no disrespect to believers in flat Earth, I can never prescribe to the idea of flat Earth. And I can't either. I've stood on top of a mountain and had just for fun doing target practice.
Yeah.
Had to calculate Coriolis effect, which you can't do for a flat object.
Yeah.
That's not spinning.
Y'all ever watch Starlink? You ever seen Starlink? Yep. Okay. So what Starlink look like when it's coming up over the horizon?
A train.
No, it's like a little about that big, a little bunch of beads, right? Coming up over the horizon. And as it gets closer to you, what's it do? It spreads out. Hey, do you think it's just spreading out, or do you think maybe that's what it looks like? And it's compressed because you're looking at it on an angle.
Horizon.
Maybe. Just saying.
Simply due to astronomy and science I've studied.
Science? What is that?
Tony says you have offended the Fae.
Yeah.
Yeah, that day.
You don't know the rest of that story, Tony.
The first half, the way that started.
Yeah. I don't know.
It involved a hole in the ground.
Yeah, it was. It was a hole in the ground. And Larry was chasing around a stray weird radiation signal.
Yes.
I found a hole in the ground, and there was EMF coming out of the hole in the ground. I don't know why. It was in a tree, actually. I was hoping it was a bunch of
EMF coming out of a hole.
Well, if it was a Keebler factory, but it wasn't. And there was no cookies, but there was definitely
a hole in the log with the EMF.
Yeah. And then we were there talking, and you saw what happened in real time. That's absolute real time. That's how that happened. I mean, there's a little bit of space between because I was saying a bunch of crap that you didn't need to hear because I talk and just talk.
And we put the expensive camera back in the waterproof bag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was all shot with iPhone. Sorry, iPhone. Yeah, because we were kind of freaking out at that point.
Not even one nuclear cookie octopus. I was so
bummed. Not one.
Enzo says, I feel a lot of people use the flat earth lingo just as a way to saying, I'm not going to believe everything I'm told, not necessarily believing in a literal flat earth, just the idea of it. Yeah.
And right here. Anti-conformity. Yeah. And it becomes a movement almost. And yeah, you're right. It's like a symbol for anti-conformism, I think. You're right.
When we're getting into that stuff, though, specifically looking at this aquatic UAP stuff,
yes,
like I've said it before in past episodes, I can kind of get on board with this whole hollow Earth phenomena.
You've said this multiple times that could be what's going on. There could be like an opening there, and there's something down there. Prove me, I can't prove you're wrong. That's for sure.
And we don't know enough about our oceans for anybody to. No. We actually do the opposite, and we find these large cavernous areas that we didn't know existed previously. Now, are we finding subterranean aquatic cities like Atlantis? They've not said yes, but I'm going to lean towards no. But I'm not going to say that there's not some kind of I don't know if I'm comfortable calling it a base, maybe a base.
Okay.
Where these USOs are coming from.
Okay.
Would it be a base? I mean, technically, I guess by definition, it would be a base.
By our definition, it will be a base. Yeah, that's what you're trying to say, I think.
Yeah, by our definition, it would be a base. But like, is it a base, or is it just where these things are from? And have these things been here a whole lot longer than what we have?
Right. Right.
Which is where I
Exactly.
tend to kind of lean anymore.
Oh yeah. 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 I mean, I think that's where you go with the data eventually. And that's that's the whole thing. You're going to be led by the data, then you're going to end up in that place eventually, I think.
Yeah, you eventually land in a spot
Right.
where you are looking at this stuff from the perspective that you know.
Yeah, man. I do
Could it
know.
be?
Could it be? Yeah, exactly. And you
Like
do end up in that.
whether you really want to ascribe to that or not, like it, and you might not buy into all the details that go with ancient astronaut theory or the fact that we've never been alone theory. You might not agree with all the details from everyone's theories, but the more you study this, the more you're involved in it, the more you find out that this stuff has been happening a whole lot longer than we've been recording time.
Yeah.
And that by itself implies that it's been here just as long, if not longer, than we have.
Mm-hmm. No, you're 100%. I think you're right on with that. And again, like I said before, I mentioned before, when we did the Fallen World series back in the day there, I think it was just audio. But when we did that, we were talking about things like, the flood and the flood emerged, the whole emergent story. Remember that?
Yeah.
How all these different um, cultures had their own basically stories of these things, like how it all came down. And one of the things that we were talking about back in those days was the Hopi one of the Hopi creation stories. Remember that? The emergence to the third world. And that was that's a pretty powerful thing, because one of the parts in that literally talks about the people and how they got away from from who they were and from the creator, and they started warring with each other, and they started basically having this bloodlust, and they created these shields. And it says in there, of course, they were shields, of the hide shields, because like a shield. But they were magical, and they could fly through the air on these shields, and they could go over the big cities, and they would attack the big cities, and they would return, and no one would know they were there. That's how fast they would have gone. And eventually, the creator looks at this and says, no, 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 you're not going to do that. And so, basically stands down and says, look, I'm going to pretty much put an end to this. And that's exactly what they did. And of course, there's a couple of survivors to start it up again, and that's how that started. But one of the more important things was that when that world was flooded, and that's what happens. He also says that, behold, I have I have what is it? I can't remember what it's called. How he says it exactly. It's something about he has buried the mountains under the ocean, and that's where a lot of their technology now is. It's under the ocean. So it literally addresses the fact that it's under the water. And, the stepping stones of where they came from are now under the water. The stepping stones being the islands, where they originated from. And some look at that and say, well, are they talking about Atlantis? I mean, I don't know. Maybe. It's a fascinating thing.
The benchmark for humanity has been pushed back by so many millions of years, just this year alone. Yeah. Every couple months, the benchmark has been pushed back millions of years. All right.
Yes.
So that said, it's possible. We've found fossilized human footprints that push it way back, way, way, way back. Yeah. Okay. In Texas, these were found in a riverbed. You can't, it gets to the point you can't deny the history's failings, but yeah.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right.
These eras could have been wiped out by anything. We have all this seismic activity, the migration and movement of tectonic plates, the upheavals and secessions of lands. Those could have been how these things were being described.
Yeah. And I did find the
And if I
quote.
could interest you guys in a series called what was it, Shattered Worlds?
Huh? No, Fallen Worlds.
Fallen Worlds. You can go
Shattered
back.
Worlds was something completely different.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That was your 3D landscapes.
That was my apocalypse. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. You can go back and listen to Fallen Worlds series, episodes 1, 2, and 3, and catch up on that. Those are from, I think, 2 years ago as well.
Oh God, man, they're back there.
I know the first one was the first year.
Yeah, first
so
year.
4 years ago. Almost 5.
Yeah.
So Dave Roberts says, how about the inland watercraft like the Great Lakes where sighted have occurred? The Great Lakes are deep enough to have crazy things hidden underneath them as well. Just throwing that out there. But it goes back to what Kenny was saying about hydrogen engines.
Yeah.
Or some kind of hydrogen-based propulsion.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we don't know what's down there. That's the whole point. I did find the quote. It's this one. I have washed away even the footprints of your emergence, the stepping stones which I left for you. Down on the bottom of the sea lie all your proud cities, the flying Poitavanas, and the worldly treasures corrupted with evil, and those people who found no time to sing praise to the Creator from the tops of their hills. But the day will come, if you preserve my memory, and the meaning of your emergence, then these stepping stones will emerge again to prove the truth you speak. That's prophetic, if you ask me.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, that's from the Hopi creation. You guys can find that book. Let's see if I can find it for you if you're interested. If you're interested, I'll find it for you. If you're not, just
Dave says a possible but not something we normally see discussed are the ancient oceans, now deserts. Imagine what could be buried in the sand.
Yes.
It's a good question. Well, for instance, there was that whole city that was unburied out of the sand. Just this past, what was it? It was discovered early in the spring, and it was these ruins, and they're quickly being covered back up. So archaeologists rushed in, did as much study as they could, and then the sand dunes are moving right back over top of it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we're ancient. That's the whole point. We're ancient.
Yeah.
So we don't know what was here, and so it's not beyond a reasonable, a bit of speculation to say that, there could be something else here, that this isn't necessarily ours. Maybe ours is the land, and that's what we got.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big old world. Most of it's water. I would say we're outnumbered if that's the case.
Dave brings up another point. This whole region of Appalachia is home to the largest caverns in the United States.
Yeah, you're right.
And one of the largest known caverns in the world sits right underneath our feet.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
The Mammoth Cave system.
Yep. Another thing we don't know anything about.
Mark said he found a stream called the Planet Earth, and there's like 6 people watching. This lady's driving around Jersey pointing at all the drones from her car right now.
Oh, really?
Kenny Hess says, Joe, the Howling Bigfoot was an idea for Ron as a replacement for Matthew McConaughey in contributions. Okay. He sent something over to our mail a minute ago.
Okay.
Mark said, I guess her phone just cut off. It just ended. The Men in Black got her.
Uh-oh. Microwave jamming.
But no, so what do you think about the underwater, the USOs, and how these things are coming and going? Like, it does seem when it comes to the coastal stuff. Now, like us here, we're just seeing these things pop out of the sky.
Mm-hmm.
But, we're landlocked. What do you expect? We don't have an ocean here. There's old ancient oceans under the ground, but like, where are they coming and going out of?
Yeah.
But the, all this stuff off the coast, it seems to be coming and going out of the water.
Well, I mean, again, we can look back at some of the first sightings in what would become the U.S. In the Americas, and not particularly U.S., but in the Americas. And that was, Columbus, when he was coming over, he reported seeing strange lights in the sky. Remember this. That's in the captain's log. That's in his logbook. Strange lights that were seen in the sky. We know that strange lights were seen in the sky above. What was it? Was it the
in
Aztec?
Massachusetts?
Well, yeah, that's true. There was some stuff there too.
Yeah.
But it's almost always near water, guys. The coastlines.
Yeah. River.
Yeah, there's definitely something going on there. Hey, Don's here, everybody.
Hey, Don, what's going on? Good to see you.
Check that out. So yeah, I mean,
Hurston said it would make more sense that they would come from the ocean than the sky.
Yeah.
Maybe depending on where you're at. Like, we don't have an ocean around us, but we're capturing these things in night vision and on thermal.
I think what Hertzland's saying is the actual origin, not that they come from there, but that may be where they return to, as in that's their base.
It's possible, but that
waterways,
that light seems like it came in.
Oh, that light
back out.
That came from somewhere else. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was.
Again, it goes back to there's way more than just one thing going on.
Absolutely.
Just like when we started going down this road with the Bigfoot phenomena.
Yeah.
There's more than one thing going on in the forest.
Yeah.
There's more than one thing going on in the UFO world.
It's true. And I think that's one of our issues.
And if you listen, if you go down that rabbit hole, you can find yourself on a crazy train.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
But
no, you're 100% right.
But there is some truth in some of that there does seem to be multiple parties at play. What those parties really are, I'm not going to say. I don't know. I can't tell you. But it does seem to be multiple parties at play.
No, can't say at all. All I know is we recorded strange thermal signatures years ago, and right out there, saw the lights tonight. I bet you did. It's pretty clear out there.
Yep, really clear.
And we recorded those things, and then shortly after that, everybody's seeing these things on thermal now. It's a fact, and we have people out there right now who are grabbing this equipment and going out and viewing this stuff themselves. It's important also to understand that what you're looking at, you need to understand to get, like we said, get an astronomy app, make sure that you're ruling this out, ruling that out, get a satellite tracker, rule out the satellites. I know a lot of people saying, no, all the satellites are on, are registered. Well, almost all of them are. The ones that you're more concerned with are definitely registered, because those are the ones that are a little bit closer, and they're typically a, part of the positioning systems, the GPS systems.
Pat said, I want to know how they're re-enter the water at speed without destroying themselves.
Right.
It has to be, they define Newtonian physics for one, but they have to have some sort of inertia or momentum control along with whatever that gravity field bubble thing is that they got going on that we can see on thermal.
Yeah, don't know. But here's what let's show them a video. There you go. And that is from, well, we can't see the date because Pat's up there. But that was a couple years ago, and here, pull it back up. See, 2023. There you go.
And then the other one was 2022.
Yep. That was the first one. So almost identical. And, the best that anyone could give us was, they're drones. And our thing was, well, if they're drones, then we're in trouble.
Right.
So there you go. And we're still here.
Terry, Terry says, I honestly think they just come and go as they please, wherever they want to go.
Kind of seems that way. I'm kind of inclined to believe that.
Enzo says if they can bend space time to travel through space, water isn't going to slow them down.
Yeah.
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 That is a very valid point.
Yeah. If you're warping space, you're space and time, that's not going to slow you down. And that's why we need to figure out if we're talking about drones that are coming out of the ocean or off the ocean. You see, there's a difference.
Kenny says the field in front of them could part the water, possibly how they travel so fast. It could, but the water doesn't seem to have a reaction to them entering either, which
no cavitation.
According to Graves, it doesn't disturb the water.
Well,
No
Tim
cavitation.
Gaudette was on there not too long ago, and he literally said they've been observed, going faster, like I said, past subs. There's no cavitation with these things. That's the weird part. And cavitation are the bubbles. Mm-hmm. Anything that goes through water is creating bubbles, especially if it's moving fast. They're not creating.
It separates the hydrogen and oxygen bond.
They're not.
The oxygen releases in gas form and goes up.
So what you've got is, in theory, is if you have something that's literally changing its molecular composition, as strange as that sounds, and moving in that manner. And if you look at the video that we caught, that's kind of what it reminds you of, right? Yeah. I mean, because that thing seems to be changing.
It does. Yeah.
You know? 100%. I don't know if I have any. I don't think I have a clip of that.
It's not loaded up.
I don't think I have a small one. That's what I was looking for. Let's see if I had a little one for those folks who hadn't seen it, but I'm sure most people have seen it by now.
And if you haven't, you can go watch it on the channel.
Yeah, it's right there.
It's UFO caught flying over West Virginia or something like that.
Yeah. It's the last one that was put up. But the thing that's important about it is that it's not visible. So, it was only seen on third generation optics. So that's a big deal.
Yep. It was invisible to second generation optics. It was invisible on thermal. It was only visible on third generation full color night vision. Speaking of where you will be able to see that footage eventually is over on the Unexplained TV. That is Unexplained TV-STM. A Small Town Monsters secondary channel where all the high strangeness stuff and bizarre content is going to start going, while the main channel is going to be more dedicated to Bigfoot and the like. You will still see Paranormal Horizons airing over on Small Town Monsters YouTube channel, but that's going to be a secondary place that it lands. And then they're working out some stuff with Amazon.
Other deals. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. It is processing it, so we may be able to actually show that.
Sweet.
Yeah, we'll see. You guys might get a treat. I mean, the rest of you have seen it, but there's some new people here that probably haven't seen it. So we're going to let you see it, and then you can ask a couple questions, and that's going to probably, it's kind of working. It says processing. So we're going to see. Anyway, get your questions in while this thing's processing, and, let's hear them because, questions, comments, all the above. Oh, it processed.
Yay.
Y'all want to see it? Who wants to see it? Just let us know. I'll hit play if you want to see it.
Donna says, absolutely. They do whatever they want when they want, and they can blank your memory.
Really? They can.
Yeah, I'm going to probably lean with her on that.
Yeah. Sounds about right, don't it?
Yeah.
Oh, play. Come
play.
Anita, you've seen it. All right. We'll play it, though.
Here we go, guys.
Go ahead. Play it, Joe. Roll that beautiful UAP footage.
Here we go. Clip stabilized in 3, 2.
That's what say. That's not a star. Yeah, that's plain. All right. Mm-hmm. That's not one, guys. What the heck is that thing?
Are you recording?
Overhead, yes. Orange ball. It's directly over top of us, by the way. What in the hell is that?
I got nothing on thermal.
Oh my God.
Stand by
I
that
love
statement.
it. It never gets old.
I stand by that statement.
Yeah.
It was pretty amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
Mitzi says, what if they're not coming here? What if they're leaving like rats leaving a sinking ship?
I mean, I don't know.
It's possible.
Possible.
So what do you guys think of that? That's not a drone.
Oh, it's clearly not a drone. Again, background on that. It's not visible with naked eye. It's not visible with second generation night vision going up to 940 nanometers. It's only visible in about the 1000 to 1100 nanometer range.
It's between 980, something like that, up to 1100.
Yeah, somewhere around in there. But either way, it's not visible. So that means it didn't want to be seen.
And then it kicked into warp drive.
Yeah, it clearly did. Complete with the purple flash and gone. But also, more importantly, we have literally put this thing out there for a lot of people. Yeah, it was crazy capture. Out to a lot of people to look at and try to figure out, what this was. And no one at this point has been able to tell us, what that is. Someone did say it was a moth.
Someone had two people say it was a moth.
It's a moth. I'm not going to respond because when you said moth, you lost all right to have that conversation with me.
Tony says it's an invisible weather balloon filled with swamp gas. Clearly,
considering it didn't show up on thermal.
Yeah.
And maybe people don't understand that. Maybe they don't understand what thermal is, Joe.
Well, so everything's radiation, right? Literally everything. Everything on the visual spectrum is radiation from the top down. You've got the infrared spectrum all the way down to the ultraviolet spectrum, but there's lesser talked about spectrums of radiation that are visible, and that is Drone Research Fund from James Nelson. Thank you, James. Much appreciated. That's going to get us another one of these or something else.
Or get us abducted. It's one of the two.
One of the two. Thank you, guys. Thank you, James. You're awesome.
Yay, everyone.
So, what were we saying before James took the show?
What were we talking about? It was, I don't remember.
It was about the thermal visual range.
Yeah.
So thermal radiation, we can't see it with our eyes. Things like rattlesnakes can, pit vipers, they can see thermal radiation. However, we need devices to be able to use those, and those have to have certain sensors. And it views on heat, thermal radiation. So it picks up those wavelengths. It picks up those signatures of radiation, and it translates them into an image. Did the object circle around you as you were filming it? It didn't circle as much as like a big U-turn.
Big old U-turn. Yeah. It was literally comes in and it does one of these right over top of us. It's right over top of us. And then it's right back out the way it came, pretty close to where it came in and went out.
So what a thermal imager does is it detects the thermal radiation. Everything should have a thermal signature that is producing heat. And you see that image, right? You can see insects, you can see blades of grass, you can see trees, you can see basically everything. You can, with minimal detail, because it's not going to show you the pores on your face, because it's just going to show you the heat emitting from your body. But you can tell the difference between skin and clothing. You can tell the difference between running engines. You can tell the difference for a drone for example. You can see where the rotors are. You can see where the motors are spinning. You can see where the battery chamber is hot.
Yeah. Yep. It did seem to just come in and check us out. That's true. And what's really funny about that, you guys, is that on the ground at that time, we literally were emitting a massive amount of infrared radiation. So we were probably standing out pretty good. We had a lot of IR there that night.
Dave Roberts says, considering the world's on the verge of World War III or already beginning, the theory that they are leaving, if they've always been here, is very plausible. If it's interdimensional, they might be timeless.
Yeah. Fear, everyone, be afraid.
Stan Gordon confirmed that one with other reports. Yes.
Yep.
He did. He was able to make some comparisons with that footage with some of the stuff he'd seen out of PA.
Don, if they were leaving, I don't think they'd hang around as much.
Right. At least they seem to be still more in an observational.
Yeah. That'll all make sense soon to people.
You big brain primates and wild and weird radio misinformation broadcasts will not be abducted. Stop requesting this, allegedly.
Men in Black are back, everybody. The drones are distractions so the rest of them can get away. It's a complete exodus. There you go.
Predator vision. Yeah, Predator vision was
technically
was the multicolor thermal vision.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, we were giving off quite a bit of different radiation out there. So
we were.
Did it see us? I mean, how close to us was it? Huh?
What Jen said was my interpretation of that night.
Yeah, I hope you can see me. Yeah.
It's like, oh, you can see me, and then it took off and darted away.
Yeah.
Urslan said the UAPs have the ability to take our nuclear weapons offline. That they do, and that has been confirmed.
Take them offline, put them online.
Installations have had them shut down, turned on, taken control of.
Yep. Pretty much said we can do whatever we want. Yeah, they can do that.
Yeah.
That's how we know it's not a foreign power.
Kenny says we're like an ant farm to them. Yeah, the zoo theory has always been a popular theory with these things. And I think it was Oz earlier said that we were the pythons that were released because we made bad pets.
That's pretty good.
When we as a species decide to open our eyes to the phenomena will open itself up to us.
And that is one of the theories around the whole contact, phenomena, right? That these guys are there and they're trying to bring us around one at a time, if they have to get change, to make change. And it is interesting if you think about this. The people who've been contacted, Joe, think about this.
Yeah.
What do? They almost always write a book, or they almost always do something where they tell their story to other people, even though they know that it sounds ludicrous and absolutely insane, and they're probably not going to make anything off of it. I mean, look at some of the pioneers. Here's a great example right here. I mean, there's where'd it go? I don't have it right now, but anyway, here it is. I found it. Hang on. It's right from your area. And of course, some of it may have some a little bit of embellishment, right? Because I guess that's how you sell books, but some of it's also true, in my opinion, anyway. So, why do people put themselves through that stuff? I think the only reason you're going to do that is because something is driving you to do that. Right?
Yeah.
Like, why do we do it? Yeah, exactly.
I have that question on a regular basis.
Right. It takes a lot of time out of your life.
Yeah.
That you can be doing something else. You've definitely got costs that are involved. Thank God for these people here who help to waive that. And we've got, just personal time in general that we can be doing other things with. But no, there's this drive to go out there and chase these weird little lights around and get irradiated. I don't know. It makes no sense logically.
No, but it does seem, and this will make more sense in time.
It does seem that way.
That we're being led by the hand in a direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It does seem that way. And I know that sounds weird, but man, if you look at the data and you've been out in the field, and, fortunately for you guys, we had a camera running for the whole thing. So you will get to see everything. Bird's eye view, third person view, whatever, first person. I don't know. I'm not good with that. But either way, you're going to be able to see it is what I'm trying to say. And I think it was bird's eye view. There was bird's eye view involved in
there
some
was
of
some
this.
bird's eye view.
There was some bird's eye view. Third and first person, I believe, as well.
Yep.
So I guess I did.
It's a mix of all.
I did know what I was talking about.
Things got
weird.
If you guys think that in Paranormal Horizons, the series, if you think that things have been weird to this point, hold on to your pants.
Oh, yeah. It gets weird.
Because that's nothing. You guys are getting ready over the coming months to watch some of the most interesting and most concerning,
confusing
footage that and experiences, not just
yeah.
footage,
not just footage,
that we've ever had.
Yeah.
And we lean into it. We don't chase the orbs that much.
No.
But I can't promise that they're not chasing us.
No, I can't promise that either. Especially as clever as they are now, where they can just apparently sneak up on us.
Oh man. Well, guys, we went this whole show so far. I got to get this bit rolling for y'all because you guys are who keep this free.
Definitely. There we go. You want to do it? Go.
Yeah, you guys who keep this thing is Adam Good, L.W. Marshall, Larry Hose, Eyes in the Woods, John Smirka, Richard Minnick, Teresa of Teresa's Haunted History of the Tri-State, Ada Cox, Nancy White, Scott Holbrook, Lisa, Finding the Trackway, Tommy Swigger, Pat, Seth Beans Lamille, Kenny Hess, Small Town Monsters, James Nelson, and our amazing super chatters. Dewey the Deuster Edwards. Hope you're feeling well out there and getting some rest, brother. I know that recovery is gonna suck, but we're right here with you. N.W. Hall, Spooky Appalachia, Guitar Chains Craig, Travis Orednick, Jeffrey Steele, Russ Bailey, Chris Coots, Bigfoot Littlefoot, Terry Summerfield, Sarah Ramsey, Julie Bug, Donna Ho, Angie Breeden, Jen Clower, Jamie Snell, Ike the Fob Daddy Fauber, Ashley Hilt of On Wednesdays We Talk Weird, Lotus Flower, Wendy the Pooh Bear, still my favorite username, Asher's Creation, Spirit Brothers Paranormal UK, and Pat Noble. Thank you guys for keeping this show moving the way it does and keeping it free for everybody, keeping all the content, all the stuff that we release out from behind the paywall.
Yeah, that's important to us. And when we started the whole thing back in the the day with our first 12 listeners, that was our goal was always to get here to where we could have this interaction with people, and it has just paid off tremendously. In the fact that we get to hear stuff from you, we got people looking at stuff and giving us ideas, and have you seen this, have you seen that, these kind of things. It's wonderful. You guys going to change the channel to Wild and Extra Weird Radio? Well, you just never know after after what happens in the following months here as far as it goes on our end. But I can tell you this, in 2025 at this point, we are definitely looking at concrete on the foundation of the collective meetings. And that is going to be a real thing. We do have a location. It is going to be in Charleston, West Virginia, by the way. The building is big enough to do what we need to do.
Just outside of downtown.
Yes. And we will have, we are looking at ways to where you guys because we know you guys are all over the world and you can't be there sometimes. So all the time, usually if you're in another state, who's going to do that? But we are going to try to make it to where you guys can attend virtually. We're looking at trying to figure out a way to include everybody because you all made this happen. So we're going to try to figure out a way to get you in there. that's the whole point. But everybody who does show up, of course, is going to get to see some really cool stuff.
And what it might be, we might eventually have to make a channel dedicated just for that and stream it to that channel.
Yeah, at one point, if it comes to that, that's what we're gonna, we're looking at. We're looking at options. We've got options, so we'll figure out how to do it. But we would definitely want to include everybody in those, and I think it'll be absolutely amazing just to get everybody, the people face to face, to see the data, to meet each other, etc. The whole thing. What was all meant to be? A massive think house.
Yep. Enzo says, are you guys going to contact in the desert at the end of May? We haven't been contacted about going to contact in the desert. Otherwise, we might. When it comes to some of these things, we normally wait for an invite to go. If you know somebody who's there that they might be interested in seeing what we got and what we do, maybe give them a shout and we could see what could happen.
You just never know.
Yep.
And, there's nothing that says what we're doing at this point. At right now, we're planning to be filming. I'll be honest with you.
During that whole end of May, like we've blocked out the end of May all the way up into July, August timeframe for filming.
And yes, we will be going back to Wineberry.
Yep.
I'll just go ahead and spill the beans for you on that. It is going to happen. We are going back to Wineberry, and we're going back with more crap. That's technical term for the equipment.
That's a very technical term. More crap.
Going back with more crap.
So, guys, thank you all for joining us. We appreciate each and every one of you that stuck around, even the guys who just sat here and watched, because you never know how much really that your all's comments and the likes and subscriptions that you guys throw in here really do help us. You guys might not be able to throw a super chat, and that is perfectly fine. There are people here who cover that to keep everything covered and everything free for eons and eons to come. So, you guys.
Well, first of all, I'm going to interrupt you for just 5 seconds, and here's why. We have gone up 6 subs in this one single episode. So bless every single one of you. Literally bless every single one of you. That's what it's all about. Thank you so much.
That is so huge. Thank you guys for joining us.
We're now hovering just under the 2,400 mark, Joe. This is 2,390. If we don't make enough people mad when they watch this, we may. Dude, we could.
Now for my comments about New York and New Jersey.
It's possible.
I'm sorry.
It's possible that by the first of the year we may hit 2,400, and that's pretty big for us. Because we don't unfortunately promote ourselves as much as we should.
Yeah,
we're trying.
That's the thing. Like, we promote stuff for other people more than we promote us.
Well, we're trying to promote us, so we're
doing our best. We just got to get in the hang of it. But guys, thank you all so much. Those subscriptions and the likes, and then once this video is over, go drop a couple comments under the video. That puts it out there to people.
Yeah,
it shows people that folks are really actually interested, and you have no idea in the world of the ever-ending war with the algorithms how much those comments and likes and subscriptions actually help the show. You literally. The metrics that just a couple comments can do is unreal. So we thank you guys just an insane amount, whether you're here just the first time or you become a subscriber. We love you. We thank you. You guys are awesome. I hope you come back and visit us again and you hang out with us next week at 8 p.m. Eastern. Joe, New York's and New Jersey's don't want you to appear weak. I apologize for nothing. New York and New Jersey are the same.
Oh my God.
I was just saying it. The house in the woods knows the truth.
Oh, jeez.
but thank you guys for real. I know it just seems overly gratuitous, but you guys don't know how much it really does help us out here. And we just want to make sure that you know how much we actually do appreciate you guys. It goes a long way. And we hope to see you guys. The next year's circuit is starting to shape out. We are blocking out a lot for filming again, like we did this year, but you're going to be able to catch us out on the road. And
as soon as we have the shows, we'll put them up.
Yep, we will get those dates lined up for you guys for 2025 on where to find us.
Yep, definitely.
So,
It'll be a good time. It's gonna be fun.
Yep. So if you have had a sighting and you would like to report it to the collective, you can go to wildandweirdwv.com. Click on the report a sighting tab. You can fill out the questionnaire there. It'll go straight to our email. We will be in touch with you shortly after that. If we can't make it to investigate it, like if it is a hot in the moment report, if we can't make it there, odds are we know somebody in your area, even if you're in the UK, that we can get boots on the ground, and Australia, New Zealand at this point. We can get boots on the ground in your area to come and investigate. So, don't feel like, oh, just because it's Wild and Weird West Virginia, I can't report. No, you don't have to be from West Virginia. That's just a business name. It's a placeholder. We investigate and have roots running all over this planet of ours. And
pancake. I worry about these people sometimes.
Nikki Bennett, I love you.
Wait,
all right,
cheeseburger.
They want it. They're asking for it. Let's do it
right there. That's what I want.
Let's do it. They're asking for it. Let's give them one run before we wrap up.
One run, guys.
One run. Now, this is inner card test. This is a precognitive test. This is not us summoning demons. This is just us testing your psychical abilities to see if you belong on the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, let's see if we have to shock you or not. All right. One of these cards is one of the cards below. All you have to do this is to literally clear your mind. Take a big old deep breath in, let it out, and give yourself a cue. Snap your fingers, whatever you need to do, and say, when I do this, I will know what that card is, and that is the first card that you type, okay? Don't think about it. Just do it, like 3, now.
2, jazz hands. Good night, Donna. We love you. Get some rest. We will see you next week as well. Thanks for hanging out with us every week. You have no idea how much we appreciate that you spend literally every Thursday with us.
Fantastic. Hey, Joe, you need to also put them up the forum link so they can do that.
Oh, yeah.
That active over there.
If you guys want to go join the forum, we've been getting some activity over there on the forum recently with some of you guys that wanted to exchange info and hang out with each other online in other places than just here on the show. So here you go. We created a forum a couple years ago, and it's just now starting to get some activity. And we had some activity when we first launched it, but forums, it was weird. It was a weird time. But here we are. I'm going to drop you guys this. Copy paste that link into your address bar. It'll take you straight there. Then you can register. We're not going to harass you with email. Literally,
it's free. Yeah, totally free. Just like
the only thing that it's going to do is it's just going to send, when you register, it's going to send me and Ron an alert saying, hey, do you want to approve this weirdo to join the Wild and Weird forums?
That's it. Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
We're ready. Here we go. And this is in 3. I think it's square. 2, 1.
Bacon. Circle.
No, pancake.
So we got, let's see who we got.
Pancake.
Nikki got the pancake right out the gate. You got it,
Nikki.
Anita got pancakes as well.
Yeah, but Nikki called it before the cards were ever pulled. So apparently Nikki changed the fabric of space, time, and reality. And that, I know some guys are going to be calling you.
Hey, Squatching Grandma got it too.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, pancake fancy. Good job, guys. If you got it, awesome. Points for you. This is the game where the numbers are fake and the points don't matter. So thank you, guys.
That's hilarious.
Real good time. You all are absolutely awesome. And remember, if you're from New York, you're basically from New Jersey, and vice versa. I guess if you're from New Jersey, you're basically from New York because New York's kind of bigger. Would that work? Is that how it is? Maybe.
I don't know. We've already gone down on a sub, so
I don't
good going, Joe.
Oh no.
It's your
What?
fault.
Oh, stay